Good evening, ladies. Wait.
Good evening.
Wait.
Yeah, I
It's
know,
daylight out.
right? Yeah,
What
it's
what day is this?
no, exactly, dude. Like I'm not used to us actually having a show on Sunday, but here we are because we missed it on Friday night.
Let me check myself here. Hold on. I'm not dropping overtired. I don't feel like crap. And for some reason you're like snacking right in front of the microphone.
The gummy bears.
Yeah, but the package you're like
Fine.
It's
Okay.
Sunday. It's Oscar Day. It's the finale of Last of Us Day. It's Super Bowl. No, that's not it. Stuff happening, and here we are in the middle of the day, just ready to go.
Yep, just
What
hanging
is up
out.
with that?
Well,
Welcome to the podcast.
I got stuck at work. So I got stuck going into work on Friday, so couldn't really do the show then. But now we're here. Now we're doing the show,
We're
making
here.
up for lost time, and doing it on a Sunday, like midday kind of thing. On the well, for me midday, for you early afternoon. So
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a change.
yeah. It's weird. It's weird. Got to tell you, here we are, daytime. It's really funking my head up. Wow. Okay, so welcome to the WADcast, Writers, Actors, Director. This is episode number 122. I'm one of your hosts, Josh, joined with me, as always, by Babyface Malone over there.
Yeah, fresh, clean shave face. I hate it. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Yeah, this is going to be a very rare occurrence. We probably won't do this again for a long time, but it's good to be able to hang out with everybody while you guys are all still awake. Because let's
Yeah.
face it, by the time we get done with our show on the East Coast, most likely you're either drunk, almost drunk, or just past. People are at least.
That's how I finished the
But
show.
anywho, yeah. So yeah. But
Even the cat's freaking out over here like, this is all wrong, human.
sorry, I might send this to somebody. But yeah, you and I were talking about a few things
We talk about
that we
a lot of
wanted
things.
to discuss.
And it doesn't appear we're going to be going the route of the pre-planned remember when we were children thing. It probably not with so much going on.
Oh yeah, I doubt it.
You like my shirt? Yeah, you like that?
Another show, another podcast, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
Just cross advertising. 10-1.
I like it.
The internet's
Great
favorite
job with that.
list.
Yeah. So okay, there we go.
You ready to pay attention to the show
now? Phone down. Yeah. Now I'm here. So.
Well, I might as well play Toy Blast for a while.
Yeah. So how's your Sunday going?
It's not bad. Did a lot of cleaning. Well, not a lot, but some. Watched some movies. Yeah, I watched. Was it Badhaido? At least that's the way I think it's pronounced. I also watched Empire of Light, another Oscar nominee. I believe it's for cinematography.
That's cool.
It's a good movie. Who was it? Sam Mendes? Let me make that up.
No.
Empire of Light. One of tonight's nominees. And it was, directed by Sam Mendes. His I guess his first project after 1917. So the question is, when you make such an aspiring film like 1917, what do you follow it up with? And I guess you follow it up with sort of a love letter to the movies and a message about racism in 1980s England.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good movie.
No, I'll get around to watching it. Oh man, excuse me.
Check it out on HBO Max, I believe.
Oh, good. I don't have to pay for it. I don't have to pay anything to see it. I already have HBO Max. Yeah. I've seen a few movies. Namely, Scream 6.
No, yeah, I heard you loved it.
Oh yeah, so much. Yeah, it's you know how in all the trailers, Ghostface is walking around with a shotgun.
Shotgun. That seems like
I wish it would. I
character.
wish that I would have been the one receiving the shotgun blast instead of watching that movie. It was pretty bad. It was just the same formula as every other Scream movie. The exact same thing. Remember, like 22 Jump Street, where it's like Nick Offerman says like, just do the same thing you did last time. The exact same thing. Like that's what Scream. That's what the Scream movies are. The only one that was slightly different was Scream 3. That's it. Everyone else is just trying to get famous or just trying to, get revenge or whatever. Some psychopath's always related to another psychopath.
Yeah.
And they want revenge for that psychopath's being killed for trying to kill people. Or it's just they want to be famous. It's just gets to be the same thing over and over again.
It does, but
anyhow,
I still enjoy the series.
Yeah, I don't.
I was like, Scream 5, I thought I wasn't going to be on board for this, but you know what? Okay. I'm here. I'm down.
I love how they had the killer I love how they had the killer on the front lawn stabbing what was her name, Deputy Judy or what? I forget her last name. Stabbing her to death on her front lawn in the full Scream garb, the whole Ghostface mask, just stabbing this woman to death, and he just runs off. Like, and that's fiction. It's fiction because this is a white neighborhood. You're not going to stab someone to death on the lawn of a white neighborhood and then run off. It's not going to happen. You're going to have someone calling the cops. Someone's going to be out there with their phone, like, asking what's going on, or, yeah, it's wasn't realistic to me. Dewey died, and my biggest thing is Randy should never have died. Randy should have been
back in Scream 2.
I know, and it was the biggest mistake that they made. Randy could have been a bona fide badass by now, but instead
he had to go and hook up with that girl.
Yep. But anyway, there's that. Yeah, just aside from that, I've been watching a bunch of independent films. I watched this movie, Brian and Charles, on Amazon Prime. It's about a guy that some lonely guy lives in a little village. He builds a robot that works, and that's really it. There's really not a whole lot. It's just it's a funny little movie, but it's just very slow moving. But it's all British humor, so it's a little dry, which makes it better to me at times.
Yeah, British humor, I think, really works as long as you're in the mindset for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kente says, Ghostface, what's your favorite scary movie? Randy says, Showgirls.
Yeah. Showgirls, very frightening. Oh, God. And then he was stabbed to death 2 minutes later. Anyway. I forget that you and I had mentioned a few things that we wanted to discuss. I don't remember exactly what they were. I'm a little groggy from waking up from the nap before I logged. That's why I look like I'm so tired.
Still waking up here. I got up from my nap about 20 minutes ago. Kente believes they also shouldn't have killed Randy. Well, It has been quite the eventful weekend, especially for those of us that follow the happenings going on around Hollywood and film industry related stuff. Last night was the 43rd annual Golden Raspberry Awards.
Oh God,
it's the Razzies. So thrilling, this conversation.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were going to follow that through with something.
Yeah, I left it open for you to give your general responses for what?
My response would be like, okay, what happened? I don't watch award shows.
Well, that's not one you can watch, really. I don't think.
Okay, I don't know much about. I don't keep up with the award shows. Even like things like the Razzies, I don't keep up with them.
Even the spoof of award shows, you're like, nah.
Nope. Never.
Well, then everything I say to you is going to be a complete surprise because I'm going to give you a complete rundown of everything that happened. Well, not everything that happened, but all the winners. And in this case, the winners are the losers in the 43rd Annual Razzie Awards, starting at the bottom. In a category that kind of is near and dear to our hearts, writing, we both won a lot of respect from each other. It's how we that's why we're doing what we're doing, is because of each of our writing. We're like, hey, I like what you do. So, worst screenplay, the nominees: Morbius, it's Morbin time. Jurassic World Dominion, Good Morning, that was actually written by Machine Gun Kelly. That's okay. Didn't know he wrote a movie. Disney's Pinocchio, not to be confused with Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, and Blonde, the movie about Marilyn Monroe. The winner / loser,
Morbius.
Blonde.
Oh, wow.
Blonde takes home the award for worst screenplay. The worst remake, ripoff, or sequel: Disney's Pinocchio, 365 days this day and the next 365 days. So yeah, those two sequels that came out for the movie 365 days last year, they both they shared a nomination. Blonde, Firestarter, and Jurassic World Dominion. The Razzie goes to Disney's Pinocchio. Congratulations for being terrible. The worst screen combo: Machine Gun Kelly and Mod Sun in Good Morning. The 365 days sequels are being touted as a combo, so they're Andrew Dominic and his issues with women in Blonde. Both real life characters in the bedroom scene from Blonde. So Marilyn Monroe and John F. Kennedy. And Tom Hanks and his latex laden face, and that ludicrous accent in Elvis. And the winner of worst screen combo goes to Tom Hanks and that face.
Never watched Elvis.
It's weird because it's being honored as one of the best and worst movies this weekend. And so you might want to check it out just to see which camp it falls in for you. Also available on HBO.
I think Elvis is very overrated as it is. I've never really been an Elvis Presley fan. Honestly, the way he would speak just grinds at my soul so badly that I don't think I would even sit through that movie. I'd probably
I don't think you can hear someone talking like this for hours.
Like the mumbling and like the really thick, fake accent that would come in and out whenever he spoke. The king that joined the military to serve his country, and he had a desk job.
I thought he worked in the maintenance pool.
Oh, whatever it is, but either way, he never went out to war.
That was what it was like post Korea, pre Vietnam, something like that.
I don't think so, yeah. Anyway, I just think Elvis is overhyped, and I'm more than good enough without watching a movie about his life. Spoiler alert: he dies taking a shit. Everybody.
The thing about this, the reason I watched it wasn't because it was an Elvis, biopic. It was because it was directed by Baz Luhrmann.
Oh, okay.
Baz Luhrmann has always made some interesting choices when it comes to the style that he shoots in.
Yeah.
So naturally, that made me go, an Elvis movie from Baz Luhrmann. At least it's going to be interesting to look at.
Yeah.
As far as what actually happens in the movie, meh, I could care less. Let's see. Worst supporting actress: Mira Sorvino, Lamborghini, The Man Behind the Legend; Penelope Cruz, the 355, as Graciela Rivera; Adria Arjona in Morbius; Fan Bingbing in the 355, and Lorraine Bracco in Disney's Pinocchio. So a voice actress is getting nominated for worst supporting actress. That's got to be pretty bad. And the winner is Adria Arjona for Morbius. So Morbius is getting some recognition here.
Good. It deserves all of the movies. That movie is horrible.
The worst actor award goes to, the nominees are Sylvester Stallone in The Samaritan, Machine Gun Kelly in Good Morning, Tom Hanks in Pinocchio. Getting double love here, Tom Hanks. Jared Leto as Morbius, and Pete Davidson as Marmaduke. And the award goes to Jared Leto. Morbius takes home worst actor.
Yeah. I never understood the point of these award shows at all. Even like the Razzies. I know Razzies was made to make fun of, the Oscars. Be like the antithesis to the Oscars, but I just never understood these award ceremonies. Like the more serious ones, like it's always cracked me up with Trey Parker and Matt Stone going to the Oscars in like the late '90s, for their song for their song "Blame Canada," I think, in the South Park movie. And the fact that they showed up tripping balls on LSD wearing dresses. And they said they didn't know what was worse, like getting out of the limo when the LSD hit and they're like blinded by the sunlight, or when they went in, they're sobering up during the Oscars. So, yeah.
Well, give us some more of your thoughts on, awards. I'll be right back.
Where are you going? Okay. My thoughts are simple. Award shows suck. They're boring. They're like they really mean nothing at all. I don't really care for the Emmys or the Oscars. If you won one, great. You definitely earned it. Most of the time. Yeah, I'm not good at doing things on my own right now. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, yeah, Josh is reading off a list of every single award imaginable for the Razzies here. Yeah, I got nothing. Kente, happy Sunday, buddy. Sorry I didn't acknowledge you earlier. It's just been a little one of the Raspberry Awards. God, probably too many people. There we go. Okay. Hey, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not really mentally fit to be doing this on my own. I pretty much need an adult right now. It's been a long morning full of off and on sleep. But yeah, so we're here doing this Sunday show because okay, never mind. No more backstory. Just going to take it over from here. I covered zero ground while you were gone.
You just sat here in silence?
I'm just so tired right now that I don't think I really made any cohesive sense. I started talking about like while we're doing the show on Sunday, and then you said, "Yeah," I was like, "Oh, good, Josh is back." I said, right now I need an adult with me. Then you showed up like, "Oh, good, he's here! Yay!"
Yeah, the thing is, I was reminded why we don't do this during the daytime.
Oh yeah, you got the kiddos. Well, I mean, we could always make it like a short show and just talk about the Razzie stuff if you want.
Well, there's two awards left, and I'll just say Machine Gun Kelly won the award for worst director.
No surprise there.
And Blonde won for worst picture.
You know, I really do want to be able to root for Machine Gun Kelly. I do, but he's just such a douchebag. Like, I can't.
Ever since I saw him step into a WWE ring, I was like, okay, at least the man works. Now, how well that work comes across, that's, a different story.
Yeah.
But just the fact that he's willing to put in the time to try and do something well.
Yeah.
I can see him seeing this movie that he wanted to make, right? And write and star in and produce, putting all of his effort into it. But sometimes, no matter how hard you work, no matter how much you try to do, it's just not going to be good.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Especially in the instances of making movies. A lot of people have tried to make movies, thousands, millions of people have tried to make movies, over the last 140 years. It's the thing to remember is it does take kind of talent, if you will. It takes dedication, which I think he has that in spades. But it also takes some foundation in the field.
Yeah, not having what his girlfriend Megan, what's her face? Or not Megan. I'm sorry. What's it? Oh God,
Megan Fox.
Is it Megan? Is that yeah? Okay, I'm sorry. The Megan Fox. Yeah, sorry.
She's in it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you need more than all the talents of Megan Fox to make a good movie. Megan Fox is not talented,
and also never been a key to a good movie from what I've seen.
No,
but
like she got famous because of her looks. Let's be honest here.
Michael Bay exploiting the looks of
an underage actress. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look at the Razzies. There's talent. There's talent all over these nominations. Robert Zemeckis is nominated. Judd Apatow, Tom Hanks nominated twice.
What was Judd Apatow nominated for?
He was nominated for worst director in The Bubble.
No, didn't know. I don't know about that movie.
You don't know about The Bubble?
No, I'm outside the bubble on that one.
Well, The Bubble came out last year, and it's about this production crew that is making a movie during the pandemic. So they decided to make a COVID comedy. Yeah, probably not a great time for that, honestly.
Probably not. Let me see here.
Timing is key.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh God,
how do you clear the way for Avatar: The Way of Water to make $2 billion at the box office? Well, we could release it during the summer where all the big hits are coming out, or we could release it in November and have no competition for 2 months. That's how you get $2 billion in box office.
by the way, I meant to tell you, I started watching History of the World Part 2.
Yeah. Is it everything I said it was?
Nope. But so the thing is, it's like you can't really take something like that outside of you can't take something that the original director sat down, like if it was a Mel Brooks movie, you cannot take a movie that he directed that went on to become a classic and then make a TV show off the movie and then try to pass the humor off as being the same humor when it's not. It's missing that signature that was Mel Brooks' style.
What the satire?
It's more than that. It's like, I mean, yeah, like Mel Brooks was a master at satire. In his prime, his satirical approach, his comedic approach, his like the slapstick and everything else, it was on point. But it was a very, very specific brand of comedy that he would do. I don't know if I'm making sense there or not. But he has like his like, just if you watch a movie and be like, oh yeah, this is obviously a Mel Brooks movie.
Mm-hmm.
Watching History of the World Part 2, it's like watching drunk history to me. That's all it really reminds me of, is just drunk history. Which it's funny. It's just not really Mel Brooks. I feel like this is something they could have just called the show History of the World, and it would have been fine. Presented by Mel Brooks.
Franchise rather than a direct sequel.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Presented by Mel Brooks, whatever. You could have passed it off with so many things, but it's missing what made the original unique. I don't know how to put my finger on it, but it's just, you can tell that this is so far removed from Mel Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense, right? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know it's exactly what I said. That you can tell when and where Mel Brooks has his fingerprints on it, but you could also tell when Nick Kroll, is doing his thing.
Oh yeah.
And Judas Iscariot, forever unclean.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit of a callback to the league there. And Ike Barinholtz, it seems clear he's been doing a lot of the heavy lifting behind the scenes.
Yeah, the whole Civil War thing was definitely him. The whole between him and Abraham Lincoln, like, I think it was like the very opening skit, actually. I
don't remember. That's one of the problems.
And that's the other thing. It's like it's like it goes from one thing to the next, and returns to the other story, and it goes to another story after that. It goes back to the other story. It's like so it's missing everything that made the original one special. It's like it does this so much that you kind of forget shit.
Mm-hmm.
Did that happen to you? Like, you just kind of like, there are things where you spaced out, you forgot about, because
a little bit, especially like during the Russian Revolution.
Yeah, it was so jumpy for me that it's really hard to follow, and you shouldn't have a hard time following. It's supposed to be comedy, but I don't think I even laughed once in the first episode. I might have like done a slight chuckle, but History of the World Part 1 was laugh out loud funny. Still is.
Yeah.
Hell, any of Mel Brooks' movies or properties are laugh out loud funny. Even like going back to his TV days on Get Smart, they're all hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
This just didn't really have that for me. It was more of a chore to watch than anything else. So, yeah.
It just makes me think I want to watch History of the World Part 1 again.
I did. And I was like, you know what?
Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. And the background stuff, it was always fun what you could catch in the background.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What's that banner advertising the royal orgy?
I mean,
First
come on,
serve,
like,
first come.
come on, like, Biggus Dickus.
It's good to be the king.
Oh God, these are the 15 Crash. Oi, these are the 10 commandments. Like,
I think my favorite gag, the one that I probably quote the most, is the French Revolution. Piss boy, oui oui, yes, a lot of it. That's Mel Brooks.
Yeah, like,
it doesn't have that. The History of the World Part 2 doesn't have that kind of,
the
wordplay.
dialogue. Yeah, the dialogue, the wordplay, like walk this way, and someone starts to walk in the kind of way the person does the same walk. Because you saw that like a few of Mel Brooks' movies. It was in the two that come to mind is like Young Frankenstein, right, with Igor.
Mm-hmm.
Walk this way. He's got the cane. He like hands it to he just like hands it off and he's like just shows him how to do it and he starts like doing it. Yeah, that and what was it? Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I'm sorry, Men in Tights rather. Yeah, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Men in Tights. Walk this way, and he starts like walking with that little strut, and everyone else just follows behind him and does the same walk. But no, so I mean. And even going like to Young Frankenstein, like the whole like when Gene Wilder gets trapped in the wall, right? Put the candle back. They get him out, and then Homegirl gets stuck behind the wall too. It's just like the same thing. It's like it's what makes Mel Brooks in what he makes. Whatever History of the World Part 2 is, it's not it, man. It is grueling to sit through.
I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just it's
good.
It's not the flavor you're expecting.
No, it's like going in. That's actually a very good analogy. It's not the flavor I'm expecting. I'm expecting to go in there and get something like really, really nice and pristine because it like has Mel Brooks written on it somewhere. And what I get is like great value tastes like shit in a bag.
Now again, you're being over necessary.
Well, you let me be dramatic.
Because there are talented people that put this together, and they
are.
It's fine,
but they missed the mark. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like they missed the mark with it.
But like a show by any other name, we would probably be saying, it was really good. But because it wants to use the legacy of History of the World, it's like, I'd set the bar.
And I'd be fine with them using the legacy of History of the World. It's just calling it Part 2 is very gratuitous to me. But then at the same time, if it's supposed to be a sequel to like History of the World Part 1, then it's kind of following the footsteps of what happens to most sequels. They lose what they miss out on what made the first one special.
So in some ways, it is the perfect follow-up to History of the World Part 1.
I mean, there's only a handful of movies I think far surpassed like the first century. And it's very few. But this is not one of them.
Yeah, it's calling it a sequel seems a little disingenuous.
Yeah, it's really just cashing in on the name with other comedy writers writing their own little skits, and that's pretty much it comes off like a skit show. That's all it comes off as, and I think that's pretty much what it is.
Well, that's what the movie was. It was a sketch movie.
Yeah, it was a sketch movie, but it's like it was actually had like I don't know, like even with it being Mel Brooks like writing his own little sketches and whatnot, like pretty much like little shorts. It flowed.
Yeah,
it all flowed like very fluently, the whole way through. It's like you could just sit down, like go from one to the next, and just laugh your ass off. This, I think, with it jumping back and forth between sketches throughout a series of different episodes, it gets confusing.
Yeah, that's one of the things I don't like. The constant, like, if you want to do a long Civil War thing, why not just make that an episode?
Yeah, that's what I'm surprised they didn't do, because like if you got those like skits together, it would be the length of one episode. I didn't understand why the hell they were doing that. I thought that was just me that was like getting confused over this shit. I thought maybe this would be like an artistic angle or something, but I didn't understand it. So, meantime,
It could
look
have
at you.
been
I like your
much more
beard.
cohesive. What's that?
I like your beard. It's all like at the perfect length right now.
Yes, it is. And I've got hair, for the
know.
longest time.
I know.
I usually just cut it all off by now, but no, I've got hair.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. You look all pretty over there. With me, I'm like clean shaved. I hate this so badly. It's so weird. I just needed a break from my facial hair for like,
Do you know what I did
guess
last night? You want to know
week.
what I did last night?
You slept.
I went out.
Hmm.
I went out to where the people are. That's
Papa had a date, huh?
sure. It was weird, honestly. I haven't been out like on a Saturday night to do, going out things in I don't know how long. And I don't count going to the movies because, I'll do that anytime. I'll probably go like 3 or 4 times during spring break just because, I can.
Yeah.
I have time to. So I'll probably see Scream 6 and maybe Creed. Think of something else. Doesn't really matter. I got that AMC pass. I don't use it nearly enough to justify it. So now's the time. Now's the time I gotta do that. But yeah, I went out last night. We went to and finally someone could have muted their microphone before they decided to.
It came out of nowhere. Bite me. So you went where?
We went to the Keg and Coin.
Okay.
It's a barcade here in Jacksonville. In case you're ever in the area, check it out. Yeah, in case you're ever in the area, Brandon.
I'll be out there in May.
Sure you will.
My nephew graduates high school, so I'm going to go out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I guess the question is, am I going to get a phone call?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'll probably get a phone call that said, "Oh, I was just in town too. We should have gotten together." That's it.
You'll be one of the only people I actually call to hang out. If that means anything at all.
I found out that I'm not a bad dart player.
That's good. I suck at it. You definitely win.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Gotta love the yes hands, right?
Did you have like a Ted Lasso moment where you had some big speech and you just threw a dart and you just went exactly where you wanted to go?
No. But there were a couple of times when I said, as I was getting close to winning, just stepping up to the line going, you know what, how about we just end this game now? Don't even look, just toss it. And it just bounced completely off the board. I was like, that would have been cool though, right? If I said, let's go ahead and end this and just blindly win the game.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I found out aiming does not help at all. So just walk up to the line and
I mean, at least you got out. You had a good time. That's all that matters. I did not get out to do anything fun. I got out to go to work. That's about it. Yeah. And I got home this morning, slept for 3 hours, and here we are doing the show.
So exciting.
Yeah. We're usually I find that we're usually more energized for a Friday night than we are for a Sunday midday thing.
Well,
but
to be fair, I'm usually hyped up on a lot of caffeine.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Well, yeah, there's something I was talking about that I want to bring up on the show. Actually, I was talking to somebody about predictability in movies.
Yeah, it was me.
And we were talking. No, just like you and I had this conversation earlier today.
Mhm.
But I remember I was told someone that like I'm tired of being able to predict what happens in a movie. And I mentioned how on one of our shows I mentioned the movie Fall and how I pretty much guessed it beat by beat as to what was going to happen in the movie. And almost everything I said is exactly what happened in that movie. It was that predictable just from watching a trailer.
Like
and
I
I
told
think
you,
you
the
and I,
bar for that was pretty low.
yeah, and I still hear people talk about how it was a great movie. I'm like, it really wasn't.
People
Like,
said it was a great movie.
I've heard people talk about how it was a really good movie. I'm like, no, it wasn't.
I
It
give it
was
a like if somebody turned that in, if I was some sort of teacher at a school that was grading people on their movies,
I would have
I would
expelled them.
say, okay, that's a D plus. You took a kind of a cheaty way of building tension with great
Yeah,
cinematography.
yeah, every other scene is like, oh, is somebody going to fall? Hence the name of the movie, Fall. What I guess I don't know, but
It's the
every
visuals that
other,
built the tension, not the story.
yeah. There's no story. There's no story at all. Whatever story is there, it's so minimal and just boring that they have to substitute any kind of tension you get from the story with, I guess, trying to make your hands sweaty. I guess is what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, Fall. I watched that on the plane when I was coming back from North Carolina, just to mess with the woman sitting next to me, watching her wipe her hands on her jeans and everything because she's staring at my monitor. Good times. But that's what I was saying though. It's like I was talking about the predictability in movies. I saw Scream 6. You haven't seen it, so I'm not going to mention any spoilers about it. But there are only one of two formulas there. It's either someone is out for revenge, like like we were saying earlier. It's either someone's out for revenge or someone is just trying to be famous. Those are the two factors in every Scream movie so far.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's just like I was telling him, it's like, on top of the predictability, I don't understand why there needs to be so many sequels these days. I don't get it. Scream, the sequels to Scream, they make no sense. The whole idea of Scream having this many sequels really makes no sense. Like, how many people can possibly want to get famous by trying to do the same thing that's gotten other people killed? Well, you know what? This is the day of TikTok. Never mind. Oh, there's TikTok challenges. Never mind. But I don't know, like it's got to make sense to make the sequel for it. I don't think any sequel past the first Scream really made sense. Maybe Scream 2 tops, but going back to what we were saying earlier, like I mean,
well, Scream 3, I think
should have wrapped it up.
The whole basis of the Scream series, as we've talked about on this show, is the fact that it's also running a meta commentary throughout. It's not bashing horror movies at the same time. It's pointing out all of the ludicrousness of what's going on. That's why in the sequel you got the rules, the rules about sequels. And the third one, you're like, oh, it's not a sequel anymore. It's a trilogy. The rules are completely different. Made sense. Then the fourth and fifth ones, it seemed less about the meta rules and just more about the audience.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, it's still like, I mean, I think it's time to call it. And they're like, oh, we're gonna make a Scream 7. Like, no, come on, no, stop it. It's enough.
It's become the thing that it's been spoofing.
Yeah, very much so. It's become like the stab movies. And the stab movies were some that they were like purposely making fun of the Scream movies. And now they have actually started turning them into the stab movies. It's
And you're right. If Randy was still alive, he would be the one to point out how, okay, we've gone through this many times before. We have now entered the rules of unnecessary sequel land, where you don't know what's going to happen, but you totally know what's going to happen.
Pretty much. But it's like you have other movies like coming away from like Scream. You have other movies like that have sequels that don't make the sequels make no sense. Look at Saw. First Saw was an amazing film. It was actually a damn good movie. The very first one. After that, I don't know what the hell happened. They just became more gore centric than anything else. It's like the goal of every other Saw movie is to get you to look away from the screen instead of trying to figure out what was going on.
I do like some of the storytelling tricks that they used by like having 3 of the movies run concurrently.
Oh yeah. But
wow, that's actually a pretty interesting notion.
But then you go into super unnecessary sequel land, which would be things like The Hangover.
Hold on. You can't finish up your talk about Saw and its sequels without, mentioning Chris Rock and.
Oh God, Jigsaw. Oh God. No, that was
his serious acting face.
Oh yeah. That movie was horrible. Spiral was so bad. Besides, Spiral also did the same thing that other Saw movies have done, where it tried to fake you out with the character's death,
and
then that character comes back to be the actual, whatever. Yeah, Spiral was just it was really bad. Oh God, I can't believe they even made that one. But they're making another Saw film. They're making another Saw film, but this time it's about the guy John Kramer. I think that's going to be the name of the movie, John Kramer. But I don't understand it. But then going on to other sequels that made no sense, that didn't really need to exist, was Hangover 2 and 3. Hangover 2 is the exact same thing as Hangover 1, just different location, change a few things up, and make them, get stuck with a monkey instead of a tiger. And you have Hangover, 2. Hangover 3 had nothing to do with the Hangover at all. Not one thing. It's just, I don't know. These are movies that really don't need any kind of follow-up. And I don't know, I think this is why I cannot stand sequels, because the first movie may capture all the reasons why you want to go see it. Like it may give you every single thing that you want to get from it substantially. And then a studio thinks that they need to make another movie or two to follow it up because it made such a great amount of money with the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
That just kind of sucks. I mean, look at what happened with the last 3 Star Wars movies. You don't really need those.
Yeah, but they all made tons of money.
Yeah, but the story didn't make any sense. Come on, I would have rather seen Finn become like a badass Jedi
instead of just having that story disappear after the first one.
Just scrapped completely. Yeah.
Yeah, that I think comes from having different creative voices trying to take it in different directions.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just, God.
That's the one thing Marvel does absolutely. I don't want to say perfectly, but they do it very well. Is having that sort of one vision.
Oh,
from the things we've read, especially from like James Gunn, who says that if you're making a Marvel movie, yes, you have a lot of freedom to do what you want, but they do have your sort of required things they want you to put in it. It's like, hey, this is what we need to set up the future. So how you get there, you take care of that. But we just need to make sure these beats are hit, and this other stuff, you're not allowed to touch that.
Yeah.
So just leave that alone. Whatever character you want, whatever you want to do, just this is what you can't. This is what you can have. This is what you can't have. Or when they were making What If, and we find out that they had to like completely scrap one of the episodes because it was too close to what they were actually doing in the MCU.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, you can do pretty much anything you want, and somehow you decided to coincidentally choose the next Guardians plot. Weird.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that if you're going in to direct or write a Marvel movie, you can basically pitch them whatever you want. And they'll say, this is good, this is good, this is good. We actually have plans for this character in another series, so no to that. But we can get you somebody else if you have like a backup in mind.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's people out there that will, scream from the mountaintops, Marvel doesn't let you have freedom. Their creators, the directors say they have plenty. They just, they're invited to play in this playground. And sure, they're not allowed to use all the toys they want, but can use most of the toys they want. And I think that should be good enough.
Well, I mean, look at what happens when people take it upon themselves to do things with something that Marvel's working on. And this goes to Morbius. Okay. Now, granted, Morbius is not Disney. That's not a Disney property. That's Sony.
Yeah.
But at the end of Morbius, you have the Vulture show up. Morbius takes place in a different universe than Tom Holland's.
Mm-hmm.
The last time we saw the Vulture, he was locked up in prison, right? And he refused to reveal Spider-Man's identity. Last time we saw the Vulture.
Right.
All of a sudden, so he's in like prison attire, all that stuff. His flight suit is completely destroyed. So now at the end of Morbius, we have the Vulture showing up, talking about how he just showed up in this universe. And he thinks that if they put their heads together, they could do some good. But he's got his whole Vulture costume and everything else. It made no sense for him to even be there at all, let alone with all of this shit.
Yeah, it's because Vulture is part of the Spider-Man collection, and Sony still has control over that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though is Marvel told Sony Fly, I was like, hey, listen, Doug, just try not to expand the Spider-Verse right now because we're trying to help you build that because we have a steady line of stories that we want to tell right now.
And Sony's they're my toys, I can do what I want.
Pretty much, yeah. And they're like, oh, well, no, let's just go ahead and shoehorn this person in. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember it pissed off Marvel. They can't say anything about it. They can't do anything because they don't own those properties.
Mm-hmm.
That IP is under Sony. But they're like, this is what you get. You decided to do this, and no one saw this movie. The ones that did are baffled by the ending of this because it was all over the internet. How the hell did the Vulture end up in this universe? Sony's never really been good at just telling a steady, straight story that was worth listening to. It's rare.
No.
But they just seem to really oh my god, we have these toys, time to break them. Oh, Spider-Man? Oh, let's do a Spider-Man movie where he's chasing after he's trying to find the truth about his parents. Where's that story going to go? Nowhere. We're just going to stop telling that story halfway through the movie and never mention it again.
it saddens me that Marvel and even to a lesser degree DC have taken time to at least try to build something.
Yeah.
And especially in the case of Marvel and Sony's able to just kind of undermine a lot of the stuff. It takes a lot of work to make a movie, let alone, what are we at, 26 movies in the MCU?
I think so. Yeah, it's up there, man. I know that if you want to sit down and watch all the movies, it'll take you about a week to get completely caught up on everything that's going on in the MCU.
What's next? I don't even remember what's next, honestly. Guardians is the next movie.
I think it's Guardians.
The next show, I think I'm confused on. I don't know what the next show is.
No, that I have no idea.
And I'm one of the few people that doesn't have a problem with their release schedule. You know, one movie per quarter.
Sorry.
One show per quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's too much to keep up with.
No. And for everybody like that sees me yawning, I'm sorry. For me, this might as well be midnight for me. It's
whereas when we regularly do the show, it is literally midnight for me.
Yeah, but when we do the show, for me, it's like, morning. I'm waking up.
Yeah, for you, it's like, time to rise and shine, grab a drink, get ready for the WADcast.
Yeah, the wonderful things about working night shift, your sleep schedule is all kinds of screwed up. But so like for me right now, I'm dragging because I feel like it's like midnight right now, and it's only like it's the crack of noon. No, it's like like 2:00 in the afternoon right now, my time. So
yeah, just about.
Yeah, it's God. Oh, here I'm just tired. I slept my shit. So.
Well, how about we go ahead and wrap things up?
Let's do that. Everybody, I'm so sorry that I'm off my game here today. I really am.
The daylight, man. It's the daylight.
Yeah. I wasn't able to. Yeah, it's the daylight.
Are we under a tornado watch?
You're in Florida. You're always on the tornado watch.
Yeah, but usually Alexa's not there going, "Hey, buddy."
By the way,
hold on. Before we go.
Okay, go ahead. What?
I did get something. You want to see it?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna mute real quick so you don't hear the shuffling.
Okay.
All right. I've never been much for decor. I'm not a decorator, right?
Okay.
I don't care what my place looks like. But I decided to do something. And hopefully it'll show up in the background at some point as I figure out exactly how I should set up my set, for the show. Kind of like you have masterfully put that, can of Arizona tea in your background.
It's delicious. It's like,
Well, they pay us enough money for the product placement, right? Right?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, pay. That'd be nice. No, but go ahead. What'd you get?
I got.
It's blurry.
Yeah, it is.
Michael J. Fox's crotch.
Yep.
All right.
You see the size of this thing? The crotch, I mean, not the poster.
Big crotch. Yeah, it's a big crotch. He's got a bulge there.
But then I did it again.
That was back in. There we go. No, I like it. That's cool.
Yep.
It's blurry as hell, but it's cool.
But then I did it again.
Oh God, you got 3 of them, huh?
I got the entire set of Back to the Future movie posters framed, just looking for a place to, add them to my set.
Gotcha. All right. Well, on that note, I'm going to get going.
All right, get out of here, you scamp.
All right, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are going on and having a much more exciting day than I'm about to have. But yeah, that's about it. I'll let you close out. Do your little lesson of the week, Josh, and everybody. Happy Sunday.
Well, it's just us. It's weird because I'm not like,
it's just us, I guess. Do your thing, follow your dreams. Speaking of dreams, I'm going to bed.
None of that this week. I'm wide awake. Don't know how to feel about this because usually, the message of inspiration comes from a place of pure exhaustion. I'm a bit more nihilistic when I'm wide awake. Like, oh, you got dreams? Well, your dreams suck. No. I'm just joking, mostly. The message doesn't change. It doesn't matter what the day is. If you need a reminder, I'm here to do it. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is you. Whether you're aiming for an Oscar or settling for a Razzie, the fact is, if you win either, that means you did something that got made. And that's really what matters. You make something, it gets made, and other people can see it. That's less important, because when Kevin Smith made Clerks, he was like, well, if I'm the only person that watches it, or me and my friends are the only ones that watch it, well, no, we made a movie, and that's why I'm going to play Silent Bob, so I can point to myself and say, yeah, I was in that movie. I made that movie. That's what it comes down to, really. If you want to create, you need to create. It doesn't have to be for mass audiences. It doesn't have to be for anything any more than your friends and family, if that's what you want. It doesn't have to be for anything more than you. Just do it. All it takes is a camera. All it takes is paper. All it takes is an idea to put out and start doing it. It doesn't have to be the greatest thing in the world, but it does have to get made. And if that's what you really want to do, then just find a way to do it. And as you continue to keep doing it, you'll find it maybe not necessarily easier to keep doing, but you'll definitely start building those calluses. Kind of like playing guitar, you build those calluses, and you're able to get through the process much easier. But you got to start, and not just wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. You don't know what's going to happen today. So start creating your art. Start following those dreams, because no one's going to do it for you. Well, this has been the WADcast, episode number 122. Checking the old headline there. Yeah, number 122. If you want to find out more about what we're doing here at WADco Media, make sure you go to the WADco Media Facebook page. Go to the WADcast Facebook page. Give it a like. Go to wadcomedia.com if you want the links to all of that stuff. Go to the merch store where you can get fabulous merchandise like I'm wearing right now, the 1021 t-shirt. And speaking of 1021, hey, that's another fabulous, I should stop saying fabulous, but it's a wonderful show put together by WADco Media and moviesandmeals.com. Excellent show. And if you want, well, I do that with Jen. It's Jen and I do 1021. It is the internet's favorite list podcast. So if you want to hear lists about movies, 1021. Also, brand new show coming at you. It's the Storyteller Power Hour, hosted by Jen, and she breaks down story. Not just, a story, but just the art, the craft, if you will, of storytelling. and it's going to be a highly educational but also very entertaining look into how we not only create but also receive stories and have since the beginning of time, or at least since the beginning of people. I don't know if dinosaurs told stories. I don't know if that'll be covered. But if it can be covered, rest assured, Jen will cover it because she's the best in the biz. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here on the WADcast. I hope you join us next time. And remember, whenever you're closing a show, make sure you have your outro ready to go, because otherwise you just have to buy time until you can find the right button.